The San Diego Zoo Safari Park's herd of 9 African elephants were already seeking out shade early on a recent morning.
We've got Zuli lying down in a big, soft pile of dirt.
Senior keeper Mindy Albright smiles as the youngest member of the herd tries to relax.
He's had his morning breakfast, he just had some milk from his mom, and now it's nap time, just like we would like to do right about now.
2-year-old Micaiah lumbers over and sits on the smaller elephant Zuli. The herd clusters around the youngsters in a small spot of shade.
They're touching each other, their trunks are inspecting the ground. They're very sensitive with their skin, even though it's thick, and their feet. So they're feeling where they're putting their body so that they don't step on Zuli.
The elephants eventually leave this area and move to an adjacent compound. There, visitors can get a peek at these giant mammals as the pachyderms focus on finding and devouring the treats keepers left for them. While the morning snack means these elephants are taking care of themselves here at the safari park, they're also taking care of elephants around the world. For more than a year, Albright and her team have collected milk from the lactating moms so that milk can be analyzed by researchers at UC San Diego.
Just like for humans, when you first give birth, the milk has a very specific makeup or composition about it. And then as the calf grows, that milk formula is going to change.
Knowing the exact kind of milk to give an orphaned elephant calf can be the difference between life and death. And the Reteti Elephant Sanctuary in Kenya depends on the information, as workers there mix formulas for orphaned calves.
They get a sick or injured animal. Sometimes they don't know exactly how old it is because it could be malnourished, weak, maybe not demonstrating some of the developmental milestones that would give you an indication of age. It's really critical that they know around what age that calf is so that they can determine what the milk formula is that they're making.
Albright says elephant numbers are dwindling in the wild, and research in San Diego could help. Nadine Lamberski is the zoo's new chief conservation officer.
Coexisting with wildlife helps the wildlife, and it also helps the community.
She says the research on elephant milk in San Diego will have a tangible impact at Reteti.
This is the first community-run elephant sanctuary in all of Africa. This is a facility that is completely staffed by the folks that live in the community, and they have lived amongst elephants their entire lives. That relationship hasn't always been a positive one.
Lamberski says conservation allows the community to embrace the wildlife in their region instead of fighting against it. Cultivating that conservation ethos will in turn help create economic opportunities around the reserve and in the nearby community.
Really trying to connect that work, the saving species, to increasing biodiversity, which will really help our planet as a whole down the road.
The zoo's pivot is not an about-face. Research to protect endangered species will continue, but zoo president and CEO Paul Barabalt says when the organization moves forward, the focus will be more holistic.
Our goal is to take the care that we practice every day, protecting and maintaining wildlife, and bring that to the field to make sure that we're helping communities care for wildlife out in the wild.
Barabalt doesn't expect an easy transition, and he says there are unknowns as the organization decides where to put its resources.
How should we work with partners? How do we collaborate with communities on the ground, other NGOs? And it's such an incredible comprehensive approach that I looked at and said, that's how we need to show up around the world, across all of our work, including here in San Diego in our own backyard.
Barabalt wants the overall approach to the zoo's conservation initiatives to consider more than just the threatened species. He wants to integrate the zoo's animal care expertise with consideration of communities and habitats where those animals live. Erik Anderson, KPBS News.